It is not important to win a war. It is more important to organize the peace. Today, all of us gather here to further and harness these very words once preached by Aristotle.
Peace has always been, is, and always will be our very gift to each other. Today, with lungs filled with pride and hearts filled with amity, I, G.D.Goenka, the Under-Secretary General for Public Relations,
and I, Rashi Sharma, the Under-Secretary General for Delegate Affairs and Events, present a warm welcome to all future leaders present here to the third chapter of the G.M.U.N.
Today, we have among us our chief mentor, Sri Manharbhai Kakaria sir. Is because of his diligent support why we can organize such esteemed events. We have our honorable chief guest, Srimati Anar-Ben Patil and Ketki Reshamala.
We have our guest of honors, Mrs. Geeta-Ben Shroff, Mr. Parvat Kakaria, the reputed principal of the Vashisht Vidyalaya, Mr. Gaur, Mr. Gopal Dokanya, Mr. Naresh Shah, Mr. Bharat Reshamwala, and Mr. Mohan Bajaj.
As the father of our nation said, a nation's culture resides in the heart and soul of its people. Well, here at G.D.Goenka International School, Surat, we are binded and nurtured by that very notion.
So let me call forth the school choir for the lamp lighting ceremony, followed by the prayer. I would request the top management and the guest of honors, the chief of honor, the chief guests, and our very own Secretary General and Director General to do the honors. I would also request the audience member to rise and accompany the choir with your pleasant voices.
That was delightful. Now I would like to request all the dignitaries to please take their place in front of us.
Today we have among us our chief guest, Srimati Anar-Ben, the daughter of Gujarat's former chief minister and current governor of Uttar Pradesh, Anandi-Ben's daughter. She has interests in the business and the social sector. On the business side, her flagships Anar Project Limited runs a pharma business, a retail company, and a consultancy that offers financial services to small and mid-sized companies. On the social side, her Manav Sadhana works to develop handicraft in the state and helps children from slums. It also provides training and strategy in sanitation. Mrs. Anar Ben is a reputed social worker with over 30 years of experience for underprivileged students. Mrs. Patel is also a vital member of the Textile Committee of India. She and her family has also guided the ESI, the Environment Sanitation Institute, to be a pioneer in the field of philanthropy. Her husband, Mr. Jayesh Patel, is also one of the core committee members in the national government. Her work and achievement has inspired many young girls to strive for new heights. I would request our Madam Director Principal to felicitate ma'am. We have among us Ms. Ketki Reshamwala, a person who prefers to remain in the shadows and keep a low profile. She is unassuming and yet bordering on the reserve in spite of being in the heart of the media, a profession which is these days known to be aggressive, flamboyant, and always in the forefront of everything. Apart from being a director in Gujarat Mitra, Ketki Ben also serves as the only woman director in the Surat National Cooperative Bank since the last 22 years. It has been her dream to provide a platform for women to voice their feelings, desires, and aspirations through her initiations. Today, she is an ideal to all. We're honored to have you here, ma'am. I would request the Madam Director Principal to felicitate ma'am. We have among us the reputed principal, Mr. Gaur. He is the principal of Vashisht Vidyalaya. Ma'am, I would request you to felicitate him. We now have our trustees, Mr. Parvat Kakadia. Now, I would request our Madam Director Principal to felicitate our trustees, Mr. Mohan Bajaj, sir, Mrs. Amita Ben Patel, we welcome you, sir. Now, I would like our Director Principal, ma'am, to do our Director Operations, Mrs. Sejal Thakkar, to do the honors and felicitate Mrs. Amita Ben Patel. I would request ma'am to stay and felicitate Mrs. Anu Ben Patel. Anu-ben and Amita-ben have been with us since the very inception of the school. We're honored, ma'am. Now, I would like to request... Now, I would like to request our Commodore, our captain of our ship, our Madam Director Principal, Mrs. Jayashi Chauraria, to come and deliver her address.
Thank you, Rashi. Thanks a lot. A very good morning to all present here. A warmth and love for our chief guest, Mrs. Anarben Patel. We highly are obliged with your presence, sir, ma'am. Our respected trustees, all of them, Mr. Parvat Kakaria, Mr. Mohan Bajaj, and the trustees who could not make it today, but still their love and affection for the school is always full of gratitude. Mrs. Ketki Reshamwala, the name itself says a lot, and it has been said. And Mrs. Geeta Shroff, she's associated with us since the inception of the school, and we highly oblige the guidance which you give us, ma'am. Mrs. Anu-ben, Mrs. Amita-ben, ma'am, and our guest out there, and also our guest principal, Dr. Gaur, Vashisht Vidyalaya, all the parents present here, and all my teachers and lovely students out there, the respective chairs and the co-chairs who have made this day a very beautiful one, and the journey will go on till 21st of this month. The slogan for G.M.U.N. Chapter 3 is Dawn of Equality and Justice. We have chosen this slogan in order to reflect the basic purpose of United Nations establishment. We have gathered for the Chapter 3 conference. From the Secretariat's kickoff to the opening ceremony today, the most impressive part over the long journey for me was to find out that there are many students who are interested in global issues. The beginning of the small passion for matters leads to action, love for others, and ultimately happiness for all. All given agendas and committees are pertinent and in accordance with regulations stated by the United Nations Information Center for India and Bhutan and United Nations High Commissioner in Refugees. And you will all be very happy and glad and very proud to know that we have got this particular permission straight from UN Delhi and Bhutan. UN India, Delhi and Bhutan. The committees who will be discussing the agendas are UNUSA, United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs, UNHRC addressing LGBTQ1+ rights with special emphasis on LGBTQ and refugees, UNSC, Future of Ukraine and Russia-Ukraine conflict, UNCSW, interrelation between FLFPR, that is female labor force, and education participation rate, Lok Sabha, and international press. Model United Nations Conference is a pedestal for our school that we help achieve all the prodigies of today to gain new heights. School G.D.Goenka believes in enhancing academic qualifications along with development of qualities like teamwork, adaptability, leadership, skills, confidence, respect, and moral value. And all the dignitaries present here, I would like to just mention the children and the teacher in charges have done a wonderful job along with academics, balancing everything and showing a very good team value. All participants here present will be spending 3 days in GDGI's campus and debate on the designated agendas for each committee. They will get a chance to realize the importance of international relations, international security, and very much in need world peace. I sincerely hope this event will help you take action as global citizens leading a fair and just society for the future of humanity. I welcome you all along with your teacher in charges, principals, and my dignitaries. Most welcome. We're happy to have graced the occasion at such a short notice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we would request our chief guest, Mrs. Anarben Patel, to deliver 2 words of wisdom.
Namaste. You can speak na? Namaste. Good afternoon is better or namaste is better? आदरणीय परबत भाई ने स्टेज पे बैठे हुए सब गेस्ट, और मैं इतना बोलूँगी ऑल बच्चा पार्टी, क्योंकि जब मैंने इनविटेशन देखा एंड जब मनहर भाई मेरे से चर्चा कर रहे थे, आई वॉज शॉक्ड एंड सरप्राइज्ड. रीज़न इज़ कि आप लोग जो छोटे छोटे बच्चे और ग्लोबल इश्यू पे आप जो चर्चा करने जा रहे हैं और आप लोग कर रहे हैं, इट्स अ बिग थिंग. बहुत कम इंडिया में बहुत कम जगह पे ये चीज़ें हो रही है. मैं इतने सारे एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट्स के साथ जुड़ी हूँ और मैं देखती हूँ कि जो पैशन अभी के जनरेशन में है वो शायद अगले हमारे टाइम के जनरेशन में शायद हमको हमारे लोकल इश्यूज़ भी पता नहीं थे. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ मीडिया यू गाइज आर डूइंग वंडरफुल जॉब. सो सबसे पहले तो आपके टीचर्स, आपके प्रिंसिपल्स, सबको मैं सराहना चाहती हूँ कि दिस इज़ अ रियली फॉरवर्ड स्टेप जो आप लोगों ने लिया है एंड इतने अच्छे तरीके से आप बच्चों को तैयार कर रहे हो. इट्स वेरी नाइस. मैं वो लैंड से आ रही हूँ, गांधी आश्रम से आ रही हूँ, अहमदाबाद से आ रही हूँ. एंड मैं अपनी लाइफ 30 ईयर्स से सोशल वर्क में मतलब स्पेंड कर चुकी हूँ. बस एक जो कोटेशन जो लेके मैं चलती हूँ वो है, बी द चेंज यू विश टू सी इन द वर्ल्ड. आप सबको पता है कि गांधी जी का ये कोटेशन है, स्लम के बच्चों के साथ काम करना एंड पूरे इंटरनेशनल वॉलंटियर्स को स्लम तक पहुँचाना, हमारे देश को उठाना, और जो थॉट प्रोसेस हम लोग डिबेट में डालते हैं उसको एक्शन में कैसे लेके जाना. दैट्स माई लाइफ. एंड जितनी भी जगह हम लोग जाते हैं, क्योंकि मैं देखती हूँ कि जो इश्यूज़ पे आप लोग चर्चा करे हो आज, शायद वो इश्यूज़ पे बहुत कम स्टूडेंट्स को पता भी है कि ये इश्यूज़ वर्ल्ड में कहीं ना कहीं उठ रहे हैं. तो ये छोटी बात नहीं है. मैं आपको ये बोलना चाहूँगी क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि विदाउट नॉलेज आप लोग ये पोजीशन पे कभी नहीं जा सकते. आपने कितना रिसर्च किया होगा, आपने कितना नॉलेज गेन किया होगा, उसके बाद शायद आप डिबेट में पार्टिसिपेट कर पा रहे होंगे. ऑब्वियसली यहाँ पे भी दो बच्चे इतना ब्यूटीफुली वो पब्लिक स्पीकिंग कर रहे हैं. वो सब मैं मानती हूँ वो सब स्किल्स हैं, वो शायद आपको आपके टीचर्स या आपकी एकेडमी जो भी होगी वो आपको सिखा देगी. बट व्हाट अबाउट द एटीट्यूड? हम लोग जो डिबेट्स करते हैं और जो चीज़ें, जो मुद्दे पे हम लोग चर्चा करते हैं, उसको मैं अपनी लाइफ में कैसे इनहेरेंट करूं, दैट्स अ मेन आइडिया. रीज़न इज़, हम अगर सिक्योरिटी पे बात करते हैं सो हमारे खुद के देश की सिक्योरिटी कहाँ है, हम जो सिटी में रह रहे हैं उसकी सिक्योरिटी कहाँ पे है. वी शुड स्टार्ट विद इन इंडिया फर्स्ट. ग्लोबल इश्यूज़ को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है और अपनी पोजीशन को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हमारा देश कहाँ पे स्टैंड कर रहा है. और जब तक ये पोजीशन हमको समझ में आती है, ऑब्वियसली ग्लोबल इश्यू को हम लोग देखेंगे, उनको समझेंगे और फिर धीरे धीरे उसको इंडिया तक कैसे लेके आएंगे. मैं फ्यूचर लीडर्स को देख रही हूँ मेरे सामने. आप सब मेरे लिए वही हो, अभी बहुत छोटे हो, बट बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि हमारे जैसे जो आपके सामने जो भी लोग बैठे हैं वो सब फील्ड में काम कर रहे हैं. वी आर नॉट स्पीकिंग इंग्लिश इन द फील्ड. रीज़न इज़ यू नो कि मातृभाषा के बगैर हम बात नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. जब हम गाँव में जाते हैं, जब हम सिटीज़ में, इंटरनल स्लम्स में मैं जाती हूँ तब, सो समटाइम्स इंग्लिश इज़ नॉट अ लैंग्वेज फॉर इंडियन पीपल. सो मैं ट्राई यही करती हूँ कि दोनों लैंग्वेज को हम कैसे लेके जाएं. एंड मैं एक स्टोरी जस्ट आपको बताना चाहती हूँ कि पत्रकारित्व पढ़ी हुई यूएस में पली बड़ी एक लड़की, वो बहुत सालों पहले, करीबन 12 साल पहले वो इंडिया आई. बॉर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप इन यूएस, एजुकेशन भी यूएस में था. वो इंग्लिश के सिवा कुछ समझ नहीं पाती थी. यहाँ आके, गुजराती लड़की थी बट गुजराती थोड़ी बहुत आती थी. यहाँ आके उसने स्लम में लास्ट 15 ईयर्स से वो यहाँ पे काम कर रही है. और मैं जब उनको पूछती हूँ, क्योंकि आज, पहले ऐसा था कि पूरे वर्ल्ड से इंडिया के लिए लोग आते थे और इंडिया के लिए वॉलंटियर्स आते थे. आज मैं देख रही हूँ कि इतने सारे ग्रुप्स हैं डॉक्टर्स के और बहुत सारे ग्रुप्स हैं जो अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज़ में जाके सर्व कर रहे हैं. सो जो मोदी साहब ने हमारे देश की जो आइडेंटिटी है जिसको उन्होंने चेंज किया, पहले ब्रेन ड्रेन था, अब उल्टा हो रहा है। अब पूरे हमारे देश के लोग बाहर सेवा करने जा रहे हैं। पहले हम कमाने जाते थे, आज सेवा करने जा रहे हैं। आप लोग जो इश्यूज पे बात कर रहे हो, शायद इंडिया विल बी द लीडिंग कंट्री इन द फ्यूचर बिकॉज यू गाइज आर हियर, यू गाइज आर टेकिंग लीड. Thank you so much for inviting me. And whenever you come to Gandhi Ashram, come to us. We are there only, and we have thousands of volunteers who are serving in slum area and in rural areas. And they are NRIs, they are foreigners, they don't know our language. एंड फिर भी यूरोपियन लैंग्वेज को लेके भी वो स्लम में बैठे हैं एंड वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं. सो मुझे लगता है कि प्रैक्टिकल थिंग्स आर मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. आप ये करिए, इसके साथ आपका कनेक्ट होगा, आप ग्लोबल इश्यू तक पहुंचेंगे, आपके पास वो नॉलेज आएगा एंड उसको लेके हम कैसे उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं. वी ऑल सोशल वर्कर्स आर हियर जो ऑलरेडी वी आर डूइंग इन डिफरेंट एरियाज, डिफरेंट स्लम एरियाज, डिफरेंट रूरल एरियाज. सो मैं मानती हूँ कि बच्चों का इंटर्नशिप अगर हमको करना है, सो काफ़ी ऐसे एनजीओज़ हैं जो आपको इंटर्नशिप को अलाउ करते हैं और आप हमारे पास आ सकते हैं. सो आज बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं आप सबको सराहना चाहूँगी कि आप बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं. एंड यूएन में आज ऐसी सिचुएशन है कि इंडिया के बहुत बच्चे, बहुत यूथ वहाँ पे जाके कहीं ना कहीं लीडिंग पोजीशन में है, जो पहले नहीं था. एंड जब हम जाते थे, शायद मैं फर्स्ट टाइम जब यूएन गई थी, जब हम गए थे कोई देखने वाला नहीं था. इंडिया वाज नो मोर, कहीं नहीं था. एंड आज हम देखते हैं कि हमारा वॉइस वहाँ पे है बिकॉज ऑफ नरेंद्र मोदी. मैं वो नरेंद्र मोदी की फेवर की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, बट उन्होंने हमारे लिए, देश के लिए उन्होंने स्टैंड लिया. और हम सब एम्बेसडर्स हैं, आप सब उनके एम्बेसडर्स हैं कि हम अपने देश को कहाँ पे लेके जा सकते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर इन्वाइटिंग मी. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We feel honored. Now, I would like to call upon our Director General, Mr. Shaurya Singh Pundir. Mr. Shaurya Singh Pundir is not just the directorate of this conference, but also plays a similar role in the school council by filling the post of head boy. He is a charismatic prodigy who believes in doing his work through determination and diligence.
Thank you, Jia. Good morning, respected dignitaries, respected teachers, parents, EB members, and of course the delegates. What started as an idea almost a month ago is now a reality. With delegations over 200 from all across India seated right in front of me, I, Shaurya Singh Pundir, the Director General of the conference, am immensely excited for this event to begin. I'm expecting some of the best debates to happen in the classrooms. Everyone here will be sitting for the next 3 days. Pour your heart out and get into the portfolio. Fight as if it is you representing that country. The upcoming days should be chaotically beautiful and mesmerizing. And it will be the efforts of the delegates that this event can be made memorable, even for you all, the EBs, as well as the Secretariat. The interviews, presidential statements, heated debates, energetic, unmoderated caucuses, cross-questioning, etc. These are the spice of the conference. Grab them, because we have poured our heart out to get you the best experience from this G.M.U.N. Now, I would like to invite the backbone of this conference, the Secretariat members. First up, we have the special advisor, Ms. Tirtirang Paria. Everyone give a huge round of applause for her. Next, we have Mr. Akhilesh Pratap Singh, USG Logistics. Next up, we have Mr. Prasham Shah, USG Executive Board. Next, we have our host, Ms. Rashi Sharma, USG Events and Delegate Affairs. Next up, we have again our host, Ms. G.D.Goenka, USG Public Relations. Next, we have our first secretary, Ms. Anika Meheria. Next up, we have another first secretary, Mr. Sawan Patel. And of course, our first secretary, Suti Kagatra. Along with them, we have the Charge d'Affaires, Rishit Agarwal, and Deputy Charge d'Affaires, Madhvan Patel. These are the backbone. I've worked with them since quite almost a month now, and we have tried our level best to give you the conference. Now, I would like to call upon the real members, the one who have done the groundwork for this. The OC members, Harshita Dharnidharka, Vidya Panchani, Mahi Dabhi, Vishwa Darbar, Sia Jawar, Reni Patel, Sia Agarwal, Nirvar Radadia, Durva Pandya, Radhika Agarwal, Siddhi Goswami, Bhumi Khurana, Krishi Rupawala, Tanisha Yadev, Shirish Kothari, Ansh Singh, Aditya Daga, Divyam Bajaj, Krishna Patel, Sanidhya Kejriwal, Kavya Juneja, Chirag Pansari, Yash Devani, Tanya Agarwal, Jhalak Agarwal, Ashika Jain, Chavi Lahoti, Nishita Bhavnani, Vakyan Ribadia, Vaishnavi Banki, Suhani Badani, Tanushi Jain, and Prisha Agarwal. Well, all of the members that are standing here, they have worked as if I don't know how beautifully they have worked. What the amounts of hard work we have put in. The behind the scenes you must have seen on Instagram, and each and every member present here, they have very diligently worked. Thank you, everyone. Next, OC members, you may take your places. Now, delegates, are you excited to meet your EB members? Come on, delegates, Lok Sabha, UNSC, give me a yes, because we have really good EB members sitting here. Now, for this felicitation of the EB members, I would request our chief guest to do the honors. First up, we have the IP chairs, Viraj Pitwa, Miss Manyashri Dalmia, and Miss Shagun Khetan. IP members, get a recording of this. Your event has already started. Next up, we have United Nations Commission for Security of Women, Mr. Aryan Anand and Mr. Rishi Patel. With executive board members of this caliber, I am expecting heated debates and wonderful debates in the conference. CSW, give them a huge round of applause. Next up, we have United Nations Human Rights Council. We have the chairs as Mr. Parth Mangal and Mr. Sparshan Ganguly. Next, we have a quite new committee, UNOSA, the Outer Space Agency. And for the chairs, we have Parth Mehta and Hiya Shah. Next is probably one of the most important committees of all, United Nations Security Council, Ms. Chahana Shah and Mr. Harsh Dalal. Next up, the last one. My personal favorite, the most energetic one, Lok Sabha, Mr. Vasu Patel and Mr. Akhilesh Pratap Singh. Lok Sabha, show your presence here. So delegates, we present you the Secretariat Board as well as the Executive Board for G.D.Goenka Chapter 3.0. OC members, they are requested to line up here. Thank you, everyone. Now I'll be handing over the event back to the host.
Now we request all dignitaries to take their places before us so that they can further enjoy the proceedings planned.
Now, I would like to call forth our M.U.N teacher in charge, Ms. Shweta Gupta, to deliver her address. Ms. Shweta Gupta has been a guiding light for us throughout the event planning. Today, as we stand here, is all due to the valued contribution of the school staff faculty.
Thank you, Gia. A congenial hello, much love and gratitude to everyone seated here in this auditorium to witness one of the most celebrated event of G.D.Goenka International School, Surat, the G.D.G.I.S.M.U.N 3.0. Acknowledging the presence of the eminent dignitaries present here, let me start by welcoming tomorrow's leaders to today's Model United Nations. The Model United Nations is a series of programs run throughout the country and the world with goals of further understanding about the functions of United Nations, educating participants about world issues, and promoting peace and the work of the United Nations through cooperation and diplomacy. I am heartened to see such a large and enthusiastic group of young adults engaged in global issues. Together, you represent the Model United Nations as it should be. People from all over the country coming together to find solutions to problems through constructive debate and an exchange of ideas. This event is inclusive of a participation of more than 200 students, not only from Surat, but also from other 17 guest schools from all over the country. We hope you will be enthralled to be a part of this extravagant platform for debating international affairs, drafting resolutions to combat issues, and to socialize by diving deep into the 6 significant MUN committees. Apart from your committee sessions, I presume that all of you are aware of chocolatogram, an integral activity of M.U.N. Just in case for those of you who have any speck of confusion, let me clarify what it is. Chocolatogram is that activity in which participants convey a message through a chit to the other delegate along with a chocolate. It is a reminder to all that any unparliamentary, filthy, or declaration of infatuation or sudden disclosure of love is not expected out of you. So please do not end up taking this platform for granted by penning your love notes through this platform of chocolatogram. Rather, if you really admire someone, let the person know about their qualities like their debating skills, being highly impressive, their confidence, their extravaganza, etc., etc., etc. Dear delegates, you can be catalysts for change by creating social networks in support of our work. And as leaders of the future, you can come up with innovative approaches to help confront the challenges facing the global community. Let me commend on you the most rapid ascent possible in this diplomatic services. You entered this auditorium as junior delegates and you will leave as ambassadors. Dear young leaders, I thank you all for your commitment and wish you all the most stimulating conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
O sun of real peace, O hastening light, O free and ecstatic, O what I hear, preparing warble for. O the sun of the real world will ascend, dazzling and take his height, and you too.
Oh, my ideal will surely ascend. Oh, so broad up there, resplendent, burning and darting. Oh, vision prophetic, with pouring glories.
Gia, what is it about Walt Whitman that makes his words so beautifully compelling?
Well, Rashi, I do think that the Whitman's words are the abstract of beauty's definition. But I think they're so because of the idea they preach. Peace and tranquility, don't you think?
Indeed, not a word I would disagree to. Well, to further this conviction, we have our very own Goenkan prodigy, Harsiddhi Gami, to come here and wow all of you with her euphonic voice.
Think about the generations and to say we want to make it a better place for our children and our children's children so that they know it's a better world. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place wasn't brighter than tomorrow. If you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In
performance left me with a sense of regard and admiration. Now, I would like to call upon the stage Stuti Kagatra and Ikrabi Kadri to capture the audience with the poetry of footsteps.
रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए।
सजरा सवेरा मेरे तन भर से, गजरा अंधेरा तेरी चलती है, कतरा मिला जो तेरे दर पर से। ओ मौला मौला,
एक टक ना तक गुमसुम नाजुक नाजुक दिल से हम तुम चाबुक नैना मारो मारो तुम मारो ना नैना मारो ना नैना
तुम तक चला हूँ, तुम तक चलूंगा, तुम तक मिला हूँ, तुम तक मिलूंगा, तुम तक चला हूँ, तुम तक चलूंगा, तुम तक मिला हूँ, तुम तक मिलूंगा, तुम तक 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 ओ तुम तक तुम तक तुम तक तुम तक तुम तक तुम तक ओ मेरी अकल दीवानी तुम तक, मेरी सकल जवानी तुम तक, मेरी अकल दीवानी तुम तक, मेरी सकल जवानी तुम तक, मेरी खत्म कहानी तुम तक, मेरी खत्म कहानी बस तुम तक, तुम तक 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 तुम तक।
Wow, that was fantabulous. A blend of cosmic tune with divine finesse.
Indeed. Now, I would like to call forward a Goenkan maestro, Shubhajit Pitra, to come forward and present a classic tune by Frédéric Chopin and the song The River Flows on You.
That was simply amazing. Well, Rashi, when I walked into the campus today, I realized that for the next 3 days, we're going to be living the dreams that change the course of nations.
I was a small kid. I used to look up to our leaders and wish upon the stars that I could have the platform that they have. Today, this is the pedestal that gets all of us one step closer to it.
Now, I would like to call upon our commanding officer, our Madam Director Principal, Ms. Jayashree Chararya, to orient our Secretary General, Mr. Shaurya Jindal.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are so honored to have you and our Secretary General for guidance.
Moving forward, I would like to call upon our Secretary General, Mr. Shaurya Jindal. He is the most amiable looking yet the most intimidating and stalwart. When I hear the phrase overworking yet overachieving, he is who comes to mind. From being involved with big organizations to solving our silly little doubts, what has he not got covered?
Thank you so much, Jia. Thank you, Rashi. Greetings, distinguished delegates, respected EB members, and teachers. We welcome you on this occasion of the G.D.Goenka International School Model United Nations Chapter 3. We have gathered here for a 3-day conference which I believe will have momentous results. I am also proud to announce that G.M.U.N 3.0 is in collaboration with the United Nations Information Center and is also supported by the United Nations High Commissioner on Refugees, which I believe has helped us reach another degree of excellence. What is the United Nations to me? A common question the press corps has asked me in my days as a delegate, and it has always had me perplexed. Is it an organization that forms the foundation of peace and coexistence among us humans, or is it the aftermath of an appalling and horrific war that we all very well know is the Second World War? Well, according to me, it is neither. For me, the UN is something much significant, and I'd like to explain it through a small anecdote. It was a bright sunny morning, and the football ground was shining with yellow rays from the sun. Seeing this, a group of boys nearby decided to play a football match and were very excited about it. Each one of them decided to bring something to contribute. One boy decided to bring a football. Another decided the corner flag. Similarly, the football kits, the goalkeeper gloves, the marking chalk, goalposts, etc. were bought by a different set of kids. After some time, everyone gathered on the ground and started picking teams. Soon, there was an argument about who will select the team members. And then they decided that the person who had bought the most valuable object to play the game should pick the team. As the time passed by, they actually couldn't decide one. Then they decided to start playing the game with all the objects that they had bought, and one by one, they will get rid and see at last, which is more important to play the game. The game started. The first thing they got rid of was the whistle, because they thought that the referee could simply shout. Why did he have to whistle? The second thing that the goalkeeper got rid of was the goalkeeping gloves and decided to play with his bare hands. And then they replaced the goal post with a couple of bins on each side. Now, probably after this, all of you believe that, okay, football is obviously the most important thing. But now, let's see what happens. And finally, they even replaced the football with the old tin. While the boys were playing the game, a father and a son saw them playing. The father said to his son, "Son, see the boys and learn from them." Without football, they were managing to play, even though they're never going to improve the game by playing with such objects. Thus, for me, the United Nations is the father in that story and an entity enlightened enough to realize how the ego of different factions would ultimately decimate them. To celebrate this sanctified entity, we have organized this model United Nations to deter the Gen Z, that is all of us, from committing to what the boys did in the anecdote. And I'm sure that this event will give you a strong flavor of the mechanisms that underpin and shape the United Nations, and I hope it will strengthen you strengthen the zeal in you you already have for collaboration, consensus, and working together. I would like to conclude my short address to you today by quoting words of Paul Kennedy, a contemporary historian specializing in international relations. In the afterword to his book, The Parliament of Man about the United Nations, he writes, "The world is not a happy place. Billions of people suffer impoverishment, many until the very end of their miserable lives. Population pressures build up. Can we really offer justice and freedom to a mid-21st century Earth of perhaps 9 billion people? Well, the answer is quite uncertain. So, according to Paul Kennedy, the only answer, as he sees it, is by trying, by repairing weakness, coaxing reluctant governments to accept change, understanding what works best and where international organizations actually have problems. And should they even be involved in those problems at all? No, for the future of this planet, nor will an over-imaginative or idealist belief would be fit. We need a mix of both skeptical intelligence as well as an imaginative vision. Ladies and gentlemen, I have nothing to add except that I hope that Paul Kennedy is right and that us, the younger generation, will carry these hopes and aspirations into the future. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to request Madam Director Principal, Ms. Jayashree Choraria, along with the Chief Guest, Ms. Anarben Patel, to please come on stage. We would like to mark their presence for the opening of the M.U.N.
I declare the M.U.N. open. Thank you.
Delegates, I thank Madam Chief Guest for opening the ceremony. And now, even I, with the same regard, Shaurya Jindal, Secretary General of G.D.Goenka International School, Model United Nations, Chapter 3, declare this conference open.
Well, Somalia, Slovakia, Tajikistan and Syria, Austria, Andorra, Egypt, Angola, Algeria, Antigua, Poland, Portugal, Australia and Albania, Myanmar, Madagascar, San Marino, Mauritania, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Estonia, Malawi and Malaysia, Mozambique and Macedonia, Latvia and Lebanon, Barbados and Liberia, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Norway, Niger and Nigeria, Haiti, Fiji, Mali, Oman, Paraguay, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, Spain, Serbia, Croatia, Costa Rica and Korea, Micronesia, Indonesia, Czech Republic, St. Lucia, Dominica, Dominican Republic and Rwanda, North Korea, Tanzania, Yemen, Uruguay, Uganda, Sudan, Iran, Japan, Gabon, Guyana, Russia, Ghana, Bahrain, Azerbaijan, Bhutan, Bolivia, Botswana. And Trinidad, Tobago, Togo, Turkey, China, Tonga, Montenegro, Malta, Monaco, Republic of the Congo, United States, Kimber, Sierra Leone, and Cote d'Ivoire, Tuvalu and Mauritius and Morocco, East Timor, Sao Tome and Principe, Burundi, Chile, Italy, Djibouti and Jamaica, Jordan, Germany and Hungary, Mongolia, Cambodia, Bulgaria, Namibia, Palau and Laos and Liechtenstein and Luxembourg and Libya, Guinea, Papua New Guinea, Guinea-Bissau and Gambia, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Belarus, Brazil and Zambia, Ecuador and Equatorial Guinea and El Salvador, Sri Lanka, Sweden, Switzerland and Suriname and Singapore. Plus, Tunisia, Thailand, Cameroon, Qatar, Kuwait, and Canada, Grenada, Guatemala, Cuba, Comoros, and Panama, South Africa, Samoa, Chad, St. Vincent, Vietnam, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Brunei, Jerusalem, and Marshall Islands, Mexico, Moldova, and Maldives, Honduras, Argentina, Kiribati, and Kitts and Nevis, Central Africa, the Netherlands, Nauru, and Slovenia, Ethiopia, Peru, and France, and Finland, and Armenia, Iceland, Israel, Ireland, Eritrea, Romania, Kenya, Cyprus, Swaziland, Iraq, and Lithuania, Bangladesh, Bahamas, Belgium, Bosnia, Belize, and Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan, and Pakistan, and Greece, and Denmark, also Georgia, and Seychelles, and Senegal, Colombia, the Solomons, the Philippines, Nepal, Congo, Saudi Arabia, Lesotho, Vanuatu. Though I could name the capitals, perhaps it's better not to.
Now, I would request the audience members to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की जय वंदे मातरम
I feel the aura of the room thrumping with anticipation for the proceedings of the next 3 days. Now, I would like to request the delegates of the committees announced to kindly move to the respected venue. You will be guided by your organization committee members.